What is more recyclable than an aluminum can? Believe it or not, lead acid batteries. One of the primary reasons that people buy products for the renewable energy world or the renewable energy industry is the fact that it's a green industry. And what we've been able to show with our product for energy storage is that of any energy storage device available in the market today to store energy with, by far the greenest of those energy devices is a lead acid battery. The vast majority of lead acid batteries that are used for energy storage in the renewable energy world are recycled into new energy storage batteries for new customers to use for future energy storage devices. Our batteries don't wind up in a landfill like our competitors' batteries do. There is a whole backdoor industry for lead acid batteries that allows us to bring those spent lead acid batteries back to a recycling facility globally and in the North American market, where 99% of all lead acid batteries are recycled into new lead acid batteries for many different applications, including renewable energy. So one of the things that we want to highlight with the folks when it comes to energy storage, if the primary reason that you're buying a renewable energy system is to go green, the best way to put an energy storage application with that renewable energy system is to utilize an energy storage device that is about the greenest there is when it comes to any product out there, including aluminum cans, newspapers, whatever it may be. Vast majority, 99% of all lead acid batteries wind up being recycled again into new lead acid batteries to be used for future applications. Okay? It is the highest recovery percentage of any product in the USA according to the EPA standard. And the beautiful thing about what's driving the recyclability of lead acid batteries is that they have a monetary value. They're worth something in the marketplace today. So even as an end user who has a bank of lead acid batteries that is spent and needs to be replaced, we have a way or a motivation for that end user to bring the batteries back to a certified recycling facility where those batteries then can be recovered again and used for future devices. So the monetary value and the fact there's an existing infrastructure to recycle lead acid batteries drives the market to bring that product back again. And right now what we're looking at is that most new lead acid batteries consist of approximately 75% of recycled material going into the building of the new battery. And that keeps that chain going, and the infrastructure is there to support it for an ongoing period of time indefinitely. When you look at some of our competitors like lithium-ion product, being a relatively new technology for energy storage, what we're finding is that there is no current process in place to recycle lithium product on an economic scale. So what that leads to then with this particular type of storage chemistry is that battery winding up where? Lines up in a landfill, winds up sitting somewhere where nobody can do anything with it because there's not infrastructure in place to address the properties of recycling a lithium type product. The projected recyclability rates for lithium will range from 0 to 60% at the world's flagship lithium-ion recycling plant right now. Those numbers are projections at this point. What we're finding is the vast majority of lithium-type product is not being recycled in any manner at this point, strictly because the infrastructure is not there to support that type of a process. And what we're seeing is that those batteries then are winding up somewhere stored until they can figure out what to do with them, or worse yet, they're winding up in landfills just being tossed aside. Okay? Where partial recycling is available, the valuable cobalt and nickel are mostly recycled out of it. The lithium itself, believe it or not, is not recycled out of it because there's no way to capture that at this point. And typically when that part of the battery winds up as spent, there's nothing to do with it other than to discard it. There's no recyclability process for it. At least 40% of the material will wind up in a landfill, even when the recyclability of that product begins to kick up on an economic scale. Okay? No consistency or requirements for labeling disclosure of that type of spec for lithium. What that basically means is that although lead acid batteries are built differently, depending on the manufacturer building it, the main ingredients within that lead acid battery are primarily the same. So whether that lead acid battery is a wet flooded product, a sealed AGM product, or a sealed gel product, all of those products, regardless of what the manufacturer was for that particular, can wind up at the same manufacturing recycling facility to recapture all the materials within that product. Unlike with the lithium, what we're seeing is that the various additives that go into the lithium battery bank makes it a very wide-ranging energy solution storage, which means that to scale up to recycle any type of economical product quality is going to be very difficult, only because there's many different ways that the battery's put together, which means there'll be many different ways to have to address the recyclability of the product then as well. Okay? One of the examples that we see here, this is a lead acid battery recycling facility that you see. And what they're doing now is they're feeding the spent lead acid batteries up into the chute for the recycling process to begin on the lead acid. This is what happens. So as they're feeding the batteries into the hopper to begin the recycling process for a lead acid product, this is what happens if a lithium product is mixed in with a lead acid by mistake. And the cue here will be the cardboard box as it works its way up the ramp here. This is what happens when you introduce heat to a high energy density type energy chemistry that does not belong in the channel when it comes to the recyclability of a lead acid product. It's dangerous. And so what we've been able to show then over the past 50, 60, 70 years with lead acid is that this process works perfectly fine for a lead acid type product, but for any other type of energy chemistry out there right now, it can be downright dangerous. Okay. What we're trying to show you guys here is that if you look at lead acid as an energy chemistry storage device, it doesn't deserve the misperception of the black eye that it's gotten over the past 5 or 10 years. The other folks have done a very good job of marketing their products, and we appreciate that. But what we're trying to do here is get the information out to you folks about what the true values are for a lead acid type energy storage device, and starting with the recyclability here, as well as several other presentations over the next couple days. We hope you guys can take some of that stuff into account when making your decision to purchase lead acid as a potential storage device. Questions or comments? Thank you for your time.